Hey everyone, Marc Guberti here, and if you're looking for ways to get more sponsors in 2019 for your podcast, 2019 and beyond, this is the video for you. We post a lot of videos on this channel about podcasting, so if you do like this one, make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell to get more videos just like this one. Hello everyone, Marc Guberti, the USA Today Wall Street Journal bestselling author here, and podcast sponsors. I mean, when you get them, it's really big for your show because there's a lot of costs that go into podcasting, like hosting, getting someone to edit and do show notes for you, or you doing that yourself and taking a lot of time. Podcasting is a serious investment, and while people do say that, the relationship's really, it's worth it, one of the challenges with that is at the end of the day, your business needs to make money. So sponsors are a great way to get that ROI from your podcast. I have done a video earlier about how to get clients from your podcast, even if you have 0 downloads. But when you are getting more downloads, sponsorships is a really great area for you to pursue. So how do we go about getting sponsors? Well, it's a big assumption here that you are getting downloads for your show because people don't just sponsor any podcast. Usually they want to see you getting a few hundred downloads per episode, even more than that. The more downloads you get per episode, the more likely you are to get a yes, and the more likely the sponsor is to pay you. So one of the best places to start first is look at other podcasts in your niche and see who is sponsoring those podcasts. So the very first sponsor I got for my podcast was Skillshare. And by the way, 2 free months of Skillshare, marcguberti.com/breakthrough. But the reason I got Skillshare as a sponsor is because I saw that they were sponsoring other shows in my niche. So the idea here is that they know how sponsoring podcasts works. Now, there have been other companies that have reached out to me, that I've reached out to them, that they haven't sponsored podcasts before, so they didn't know how it worked. So the idea with podcasting is that you don't get the ROI right away. It's not a Facebook ad. It's something that takes time. And some of the new sponsors in the game, or people that haven't sponsored podcasts before, don't have that much experience. So I recommend starting by looking at other podcasts in your niche and see who is sponsoring them, and then reach out to those companies. And in addition to reaching out to companies, you can also reach out to individuals. So one of the ways you can get on my show is if you have a book and you want exposure, I actually have a pretty nice Fiverr gig that gets you in front of 60,000 people for just $50. So does Fiverr take a cut from that? Yes. So when I am recommending Fiverr, when I'm giving that to you right there, instead of creating a page on Thrivecart or something like that, like Fiverr does take some of that cut. But the great thing about something like Fiverr is the discoverability. So the first person who I got through that sponsorship page, I could have easily just created a page on my own, made all the 50 instead of just 40 because Fiverr takes 20% in my experience. So, I could have made an extra $10 there, but I had someone then buy that gig through Fiverr who I had no exposure to beforehand. So this person just happened to find me on Fiverr, that discoverability factor, and then you're able to make money passively with this, and all you had to do is deliver on the sponsorship. So a lot of the traditional viewpoint is, let's find this company who's going to sponsor a bunch of episodes. You can find authors or people who they want to get in front of more people, do something like a Fiverr gig, or just reach out to individuals, and then some of them are going to take action and decide to become sponsors for probably just one of your episodes because they have a book coming out or like some product that's coming out very specific in time frame. But some of these people may decide to sponsor future episodes as well. And while it is great to get sponsors for your podcast, one of the things that you also want to think about is sustainability. So how can you keep current sponsors longer? Because it's one thing to have these come and go people on Fiverr who, like $50 is really great. It's extra income from the podcast, like Libsyn, that's an expense, like hiring people, like all these different expenses, it helps pays off. But you want to think long-term. So one of the things you can do is offer packages for sponsorships. So one of the big mistakes people make is they just say it's X amount of dollars per episode. So Easy number, $100 per episode. That's the big mistake people make, because then the company gets to decide how many episodes they want to sponsor. And in most cases, that's just going to be like 1 to 2, maybe even 4 episodes. But the way that you get these long-term partnerships is that you sweeten the deal. So let's say you decide $100 is the value for one of your episodes. What you say is 4 episodes on my podcast is $400. So right away, the lowest opening point, you have that person for 4 episodes. But then you say something like, for 10 episodes, it's $800. So $80 per episode. So you're not making as much money per episode, but you're getting a sponsor to stick with you longer. And if you get someone to stick with you for 10 episodes or more than that, then it's very likely if they see the ROI, they're going to keep investing in those placements on your podcast. So it's really awesome for breakthrough success is that we have 2 sponsors right now, Skillshare and Jobber, and both of them, and this is being recorded in July, both of them are confirmed for the rest of 2019. So that's really nice because you're making consistent money from each episode. Now, it's not like I'm making the max that I could be making, like $100 or $150 per episode, but it is something that you know the income's going to keep on coming in, and you know that sponsor is going to stick around, because it's better to get a few sponsors that stick around than many sponsors that just come and go. And when it comes to contacting these different companies, these different authors, whoever it is you want to reach out to sponsor some of your episodes, there's 3 different spots you could put that sponsorship. You could do a pre-roll, a mid-roll, or an end roll. So pre-roll is like literally at the beginning of your episode. This is the one you want to charge the most for if you want to include it. The mid-roll is something that right in the middle of the episode. So you could charge maybe a little less for a mid-roll than a pre-roll. The one thing you can do to even it out, though, and I've seen podcasters do this, is they say, we'll do a 30-second pre-roll for X amount of dollars, but then we'll do a 60-second mid-roll, and we'll charge higher for it. And the logic behind that is, well, you're in the middle of the episode, so it's not right at the beginning, but it is longer time per episode. Like, you're getting 60 seconds instead of 30. So that's a way to raise the price. And then finally, at the end of the episode, I mean, depending on how you want to do it, depending on how much demand you get, I mean, you could eventually include like 2 sponsors at the end of an episode. You don't want to include too many, like you don't want to include like 10 sponsors or 5 sponsors, anything like that, because not only does that not make for a great listening experience, but it's also not going to give sponsors as much of an incentive to come back. But you can slip in 2 mentions at the end of an episode if you're able to get that many people. So those are the different places you would put the ads in the episode. Just be clear, like for mid-roll, it's this much per episode. For a pre-roll, it's this much per episode. Also do that packaging where you say, for instance, 4 episodes is $400. 10 episodes is $800. So you incentivize people from a savings standpoint to do more episodes with you, and in turn know that you have more money coming in. So that's the breakdown of how to get sponsors for your podcast in 2019. Find where they are, find podcasts in your niche, and see who their sponsors are. Just do some research, make sure you're able to offer your packages correctly, and then you're on your way to getting sponsors for your show, given the fact that you've got listeners coming in. Now, if you are interested in how do we get the listeners, how do we grow our podcast, and also a little bit on the make money side, because there's certainly more to it than sponsorships, that you may be interested in getting your free ticket to the Profitable Podcasting Summit, or you can schedule a free 20-minute strategy call with me at marcguberti.com/strategy. That link to the strategy call and the Profitable Podcasting Summit, where over 20 people come together for that one. It's virtual. All those links are in the description. So signing off, what I want you guys to do is first subscribe if you haven't already. But what I want you guys to do is to dream big, achieve greatness, and to unlock your potential today.